Welcome to another edition of the Sportsport. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
Tony always messing around with the settings.
It's just always his fault.
Oh, okay.
We're back.
I think we're good. Sorry about that, but welcome. Like we said, Thursday here, Sportsport. Week is moving along. And a lot to get to, obviously a big theme today. Obviously, Tony, the classic editing day. No talk about the four-letter word. Not that he would even want to talk about it.
No, he wouldn't.
After that embarrassing loss yesterday, but he can talk about that tomorrow if he wants. But of course, a big Yankee focus. And the NBA, NHL playoffs, continue on, and the golf starting today. Jack's Place, Dublin, Ohio, the Memorial Tournament. And Ricky Fowler is your leader right now. So he sponsors exemption into this tournament. He's off to a great start, 3 under through his first 11 holes. He has a lead, a one-shot lead over last week's winner, Ben Griffin, who is 2 under through his first 4 holes. You got Shane Lowry and Xander Schauffele on the course. Lowry 1 under through 4, Schauffele 1 under through 3, as well as Victor Hovland, who's 1 under through 2. And then you have a slew of golfers who are at even par. So obviously we talked about this course really playing like a major championship with the thick rough, the tough greens, all of that. Jack always makes sure it's a tough test. You got Rose even through 10, Bahatia even through 9, Finau even through 9. As well as Denny McCarthy and Alex Noren. They're both through 8 holes, but even par on the day. Hideki Matsuyama is even through 1. And then you also have Colin Morikawa even through 1, Aubert even through 2. And then some guys that have played some more holes. Tony Sleeper, JJ Spawn, +1 through 11. And then bringing up the rear here, you got Brandt Snedeker, another sponsors exemption, +2 through 13. Cam Davis, +2 through 6. So obviously a smaller field here, being that it's a signature event. But, we'll keep an eye out. How close the third major of the year is in the U.S. Open at Oakmont. And I know that's going to be a special one. We haven't had one there in 9 years. Last time Dustin Johnson. Yeah,
dude.
Yep. Dave every morning, 3, 4. Yeah.
They definitely watch the show. It's ridiculous.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you could just tell. It's unbelievable. I'm sure Nance has said it many times before as well on the broadcast. Michael Bucket would know. And
speaking of Michael Buck, though,
yeah, I see he's in here. So
we've got some comments here. We have Josh B saying, "Yo, what up, fam? No audio, always looking out. He could be freaking performing surgery, and he's got our back."
Oh yeah.
Buck to saying, "Barnes, I'm riled for tomorrow." He's coming in tomorrow, right?
Yes.
He
Michael
also has our back. Can't hear.
Absolutely. Let's go, Michael.
Ernie's got our back. There you go. LFG. We hear you. Mary Materiello in here. Hey, Mary. Also, this is what I was telling you pre-show. Also, Barnes, There was this random guy by the name of Ophelius in the comments in Gaming Corner last night, and he was saying shit about you guys, but I stood strong.
Very good, Michael.
He was defending us very heavily. I was really happy and proud of him.
Awesome. Love
and
to hear
then
it.
Ernesto coming in here saying, Barnes, Theophil, good Lord, the testosterone is at peak, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so funny. I went to Stormy. Did you hear about this?
So he sent me a text, and it's funny. I was going to text him back. I wasn't sure if he was going to get the joke, but he probably would because it obviously relates to his buddy. But I was going to say, wait, you're with Stormy Daniels?
Oh, yeah, he would have got. I hope he got that. Yeah, he had a couple beers at the bar. Tony was trying to get him popped. Tony's like, Michael, right now, stop what you're doing.
I feel like I like the 1 drink minimum for Michael Buck, honestly. Keep him tame.
Two, yeah, he goes to 2 max.
Let's take it easy. You know?
Yeah. And then I for the caption, I put the golf when you were talking golf. So Josh is riled about that.
Riled, and he's been saying, he has in his head. I don't think he's gone to the driving range yet, but just about a swing adjustment, and he really wants to get back out there. You know, all those little tweaks. We were talking about him back in the day too, getting 36 holes in before work.
Yeah,
all of that stuff. So he's riled to get back out in the course.
I actually got invited to a golf tournament this morning for us, but it's kind of pricey. You tell me if this is pricey, but it's for a good cause.
Right. Course, dinner.
Annual golf fundraiser, June 23rd. It's in loving memory of Casey Stopa, who
because he was the one who
got you the
house,
yes,
that we rented. Yes.
So you know him a little.
Yeah.
Good dude. Check-in begins at 11:30 a.m. Registration includes lunch, 18 holes plus cart, refreshments on the course, followed by dinner and open bar at Kevin's Corner.
Okay, now what course? What's Kevin's Corner?
It doesn't say.
I feel like I could look it up.
Let me see. Hold on. Yeah, let's look it up. I'm not gonna add his dad texted me, so I'm not gonna be like, "What course is it?" You know, he's asking me to sponsor a tea or whatever, or like have a group before.
I'm surprised this isn't.
I'm surprised it's not on the flyer. Oh, Fairchild Wheeler.
Oh,
sorry.
It is Fairchild. Okay, Fairchild Wheeler. And what's the price?
Are you ready?
Oh, hold on. Let me guess. Me and Dad were just talking about this yesterday. We're playing in a tournament next week. And that tournament includes the same amount of stuff. Maybe not lunch, but dinner definitely.
Open bar?
And not open bar. And I want to say that one is $200 a person.
This one's $200 a person.
Okay. So that actually is
fair.
a pretty good deal just because you think about the open bar and then eating twice.
Yes.
I mean, that's
you can't
the drinks on the course,
plus the cart, plus the golf, so
that is a pretty good
200
deal.
ahead. Is it per person for you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay,
yeah, because the deal was too because we're doing like a tea sponsor, for Ellie Barnaby, and with that, like for 2 golfers, tea sponsor, they like took some money off, so it was like $500 for the 2 and the tea sponsor. So yeah, that's typically how golf tournaments are. Because you think about it, the money that they're raising. I mean, when you go play a round of golf, I mean, a lot of times, what is it, $60-$70, and then you think about you have the food, the refreshments, the people working the tournament, and then the cost on top of it. Most of them are.
I'm unfamiliar, so that's why we have you, the professional. And then Michael Buck is saying, I love me some Barnes and Michael. Sportsport. Michael was backing me last night. Tony and him were going at it. It was just like, Tony gets. He's just being silly with him. And Michael thought it was serious, but it wasn't. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Lots to talk about. And then Michael. Fish Boy saying, oi, fellas.
Good morning.
Buckta says, Barnes, have you been to Alabama?
Sweet home Alabama, Michael. I have not been there. It would be cool to go for a college football game, but I think really that would be the only reason to go there. I don't know what else is really.
No, I don't know anything there.
Yeah. So, I was talking smack about the Mets last night.
He was, dude. He was going at Tony.
Dude, it's so funny though, because like I said, he's never participated in that conversation before. Josh B says Pollock, and I heard Alabama's weird, lots of poverty there. I mean, I think that you could find that anywhere you look, Michael. And then Josh B also saying Buttka. And you know what else is crazy? Today is exactly 2 weeks until the TCA tailgate. So that's going to be unbelievable. People have been getting riled in the group chat.
2 weeks to the day?
2 weeks to the day.
Let's go, dude.
So that's going to be unbelievable. Josh B talking about Yearney, and then saying Michael Buttka again talking about the Kids Amusement Center, City Field, and then also that it's JFK's birthday today. So, happy birthday, JFK. I guess, right?
One of the great presidents.
Absolutely. So, a lot of good stuff coming up. We'll keep an eye out on this leaderboard. But if we could go now to the world of Major League Baseball.
It's deep to left. It's 700. Albert Pujols.
Yep, what a play! Stop it, Yep. And Alonso cracks one. The Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Drilled deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. And kind of interesting, I go to the MLB page on ESPN.com. One of the headlines: hitless again. Soto still passes the eye test. Bets say.
Wow.
How funny is that headline?
I can't believe how bad he is.
What do you think, though? Do you really think
It's got to be, dude.
But is it a combination of him not caring?
No.
And the fact that he just doesn't like it there on top of it?
I think he's an emotional man.
Yeah.
And I think he's like, dang, I shouldn't have listened to my family. I mean, dude, I watched a compilation video of it was with his hits with the Mets. Okay? And the Yankees. Like, it's his hits.
So different.
Like his actual.
Yeah.
It's not like he's striking out in this video. It was like, and he's just like completely different.
There's no joy.
There isn't.
Yeah.
My buddy AJ, obviously, you know AJ, my buddy AJ to Dan. Our buddy AJ.
Yeah.
A member of our YouTube channel, messaged me saying 15 years, whatever $1 million in a World Series, he's tapped out.
Yeah. No, I
think it's a whole combination of stuff. It's crazy though.
But it's
Tony's tight. Mike's the only emotional man here.
And then Michael Buttka kind of going sword into the stomach, saying Soto made the biggest mistake of his life by jumping to the ace of the Mets. I mean, listen, I know we could talk about this forever, but I did say that. I said, the day after, I'll never forget, I was here with Tony, and I said, I think one day Soto will realize that, that was a huge mistake. And here we are, and we're not that far into that contract, and it seems like that is already apparent. And we were talking about it a lot with JD yesterday, and the guys, and Patty from Schenectady was saying that, listen, like it's only 60 games, this and that. And I was saying, I agree. Soto is, unbelievable talent. So I do, expect him to bounce back, but I still think, given where we are in the season, approaching the 60 game mark, the fact that, he's hitting in the 220s, slugging in the 300-400s, is shocking to me. You know what I mean? It's not to say that, I didn't expect a struggle, big contract, first year, new team. We see that all the time, but I just didn't think that it would go to this length. And I don't know, you just think about the way, and for good reason, but the way that, the Mets fan base, reacted getting him, they think, miraculous run to the NLCS last year. Then we add Soto, so much energy, good vibe on the teams. I mean, this is going to be unbelievable. And it's been anything but. And it's just, I'm just surprised that he can't just kind of like let it go. I mean, just because at the end of the day, he's the one that put pen to paper. And, despite their loss yesterday, I mean, they've been playing well. They're in a playoff position.
I mean, imagine if they weren't.
But I think also the issue is, that would be even way more of a disaster than it already is. But I think the issue is he has a tough time being a part of something that he's not the forefront of. And I think partially, that's why he left the Yankees in the first place, because, he thought, in terms of the fans, even though we were great to him last year, that they would never love him as much as Aaron Judge. And I think that was just, unfortunate for him, a miscalculation. And then he says the Lindor comparisons are there. Look at the numbers. I know it. Daniel Green knows it. Who's Daniel Green, Mike? I did kind of want to look at this because I know Lindor didn't have a good first year as a Met, but for some reason it feels like it was still better than what
wasn't
Soto
this bad.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I
can pull up the split
at
stats.
least Lindor was happy.
So Lindor first year, he did hit 230, with 20 home runs. And I just want to see though, if we look at like the first, let's see. So this was 2021. So if we look at like the first half of the season, he hit 225. I guess the only thing I would say too, though, as good as Francisco Lindor, has been in his career, 4-time All-Star, I think Soto, though, given the contract especially, but it was looked at as a lot better player. So even if those numbers are similar, he's just a step up. But, we could talk about this till we're blue in the face. At the end of the day, regardless of how good or bad the Mets play moving forward, it's just going to remain a story until he produces the way that he's paid to do and expected to do. So that's literally it. And then Michael Bucket says Mets are losing in the NLDS. Soto not playing well is going to come back to bite. And then he said
they might not even make it.
And then he says literally comparable LGM. And like I said, it is kind of funny too. And I know there was the one show last time, Michael, where unfortunately the Yankees did lose the day before, but we're almost a perfect record with us having the show, Yankees winning, and then it just happens to be the Tony editing day coming off the Mets loss. Every time.
It happens a lot. It really does.
It's I guess we could say destiny.
Yeah.
But and then he also says June 12th can't come soon enough. I think that's one thing we can agree upon, with Tony. That's for sure. So definitely excited to see everybody.
It'll be hilarious if it's just like a horrible game for Soto and the Mets lose. And
it's funny too, because Tony was basically saying, yeah, all right, dude. I was saying, because, obviously I'm sure you heard from him, and I basically said it too, but, just at the opener, I took it to the next level, saying the Mets sucks, Soto sucks, all this shit.
Yeah.
And I was saying, I'm going to dial it back this time, but I definitely.
I don't know. I don't know.
No, if Ernie's I told Tony, I said, if Ernie's kind of leading the charge, kind of making cracks about Soto, you too, Michael.
Oh,
obviously I'm going to
You got to be in there.
But I'm just not. Anyway, right now, we'll see what happens once the chocolate martinis go. But just I'm not planning on leading the charge.
No, but Ernie's definitely gonna.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have such a good time with that. And then he says it's just because they need me to produce to win games. Josh B says let's fucking go. Nobody is gonna bring me down that day. Tony says, but no one's bringing you down, Tony. We're all having a good time. Come on, lighten up, bud.
Yeah. He's
anyway,
just sad. He wants Soto to be good.
So Yankees complete the sweep yesterday, and I think they're the only team in Major League Baseball this season to win 16 out of 20 games, and that's what they put the finishing touches on yesterday. A 1-0 victory, so the second 1-0 victory they've had in the past week. I was there with Corey, Mark, and Ernie last week at Yankee Stadium. And I think this one was even more impressive. Obviously, that day you had Rodon pitching. And listen, Clark Schmidt's been coming on. Besides the Colorado start, there's momentum that he's getting better as the season goes on, and the fact that he had the late start, all of that. But I thought this was even more impressive. Just the fact that he gives you 6 innings after throwing a lot of pitches the first couple innings, and then the fact too that you're out without your top 3 relievers in the bullpen, and you're able to put the finishing touches on a sweep. I think it's unbelievable, and kudos to Clark Schmidt. 6 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 4 Ks, and only 1 walk, and I believe it was 99 pitches that he threw, Michael. But you could just tell the way he's pitching, you're definitely trending in the right direction, getting some swing and misses with that cutter. I think sometimes he just gets into trouble when he leaves that knuckle curve up, and if it doesn't have enough bite, can get hit pretty hard. But if you look at what he's done in the month of May, including yesterday, a 3.14 ERA, and this is coming off a 5.52 ERA in April in the 3 starts that he made. But he's went 6 innings in 4 out of the 5 starts, and he's allowed 3 runs or less in all of those. And that's kudos to him. Kudos to the entire Yankee pitching staff. I know the numbers over the past 20 starts. I think the ERA for the starters is around 3 or even less. They've just done such a good job. But Clark Schmidt, given the injuries that we've had to the pitching, and of course we'll welcome back Luis Gil later this summer. Him pitching well is just so important. So you love to see that. Great job by the bullpen. We'll get to that.
Has been crazy.
But yeah, the pitching, especially the way it started too, because there were those numbers in April.
Well, don't you remember everyone saying the season's over?
Oh yeah. Yeah, see.
Season's over. Garrett Cole's
the Mets.
Yeah. LA, the Dodgers.
Yeah. So I mean, it's just they've really tightened things up. So 35-20 overall, 17-11 away from Yankee Stadium. All great stuff. The pitching statistics, the offensive statistics. Even though the last 2 series, maybe you could say the offense has been a little inconsistent, but the fact that you're finding ways to win, that's what great teams do.
Yep.
And before we get to the full summary here, I just see a couple more here.
Yeah.
Tony saying, I'm taking bets for Brian getting kicked out by Dave, possibly. Josh B says LMAO. Matt Blake, good guy. But I was just cracking up because you remember, obviously, from the pickleball event, him imitating me last year with the Lindor.
That was iconic.
I'm going to do it with Soto this time. And I kind of want to mess with him and pretend that I'm so far gone, but I'm not. And just kind of see him. He's like,
which you might get there. I don't know.
But Dave, Soto. I mean, you hate him, right? Right, Dave? But yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
It's going to be such a good time.
It's going to be a great time. That's for sure. And, Tony was saying about Matt Blake, and definitely arguably the best pitching coach in the game, what he's been able to do with these guys. But how we got to this 1-0 win, and the offense actually came in the first inning. Paul Goldschmidt, the numbers hitting over 500 against left-handed pitching has been unbelievable this year. So 7-pitch at bat, but he leads off with a double. Trent Grisham strikes out, and then they walk Judge. 2 intentional walks for Judge to the first 2 innings.
Soto, that would never happen to him.
Just one of those things. It worked in the second inning, didn't work in the first. You hate when they take the bat out of his hands, but fortunately, you've had guys pick up the slack around him this year, they can get through that. I know he leads the league in intentional walks. Has more intentional walks than any team in the majors. That's how many intentional walks he has. I think it's 12. But anyway, after he walks, Bellinger walks. So you got the bases loaded, 1 out. Anthony Volpe, we talked about him, coming on and leading the American League in RBIs from the shortstop position. He hits a sac fly to center. So that scores Goldschmidt, gives the Yankees the 1-0 lead. Jason Dominguez reaches on an infield single, and then LeMahieu jumping on the first pitch, unfortunately, ends the inning there with a fly out. And then, like I said, that was actually the whole offense, for the game. But key points really here. First inning, Clark running into some trouble. Leadoff single to Zach Neto, arguably the Angels' best player. But then he gets Schnall to ground out to a double play. But then he gives up another double to Moncada, but able to strike out Taylor Ward. So good to see, Clark working in and out of trouble. Second inning, Yankees get some runners on, but a Peraza double play, kind of kills things there. Unfortunately, they had second and third with 2 outs, and they walked Judge again, but Bellinger ultimately flies out. Second inning, you got 2 runners on to start the inning on a single and a walk, but Schmidt able to strike out 2 batters, Darno and Chris Taylor, who obviously just came over from the Dodgers back-to-back. So those were huge. Those were 2 of his 4 strikeouts. Darno, he gets on the cutter up, and then he gets Chris Taylor on the sweeper down and away. So that sweeper, a weapon for Clark Schmidt. But like I said, just the location has to be there. You don't want to leave that up in the zone. That's when he gets hit, but he did a good job there. So they get out of Dodge. Third inning, Jason Dominguez walks and steals second, but Yankees unable to do anything there. We finally get in the bottom of the third, that 1-2-3 inning from Clark, gets Nito to strike out swinging, and that was on the sweeper again. So like I said, those off-speed pitches down and away where they can't be hit, they're just an absolute weapon. You don't want to throw those in the strike zone. So, he has a nice 1-2-3 inning there. Fourth inning, Yankees go down in order. Bottom four, Soler just reaches on an infield single, but then Schmidt able to pitch around that. Nothing for the Yankees in the fifth, 1-2-3. Schmidt has a 1-2-3 in the bottom of the fifth. And then sixth inning, again, nothing for the Yankees offensively. But Schmidt able to induce 2 flyouts and a pop out, to get out of the inning. So 6 innings. Like I said, that pitch count was high. They were saying, at best it's going to be barely over 5 innings. He gets them the quality start at 6 innings, which was huge. We talked about the bullpen being taxed and not having, Weaver, Williams, or Jonathan Loaizaga to avoid pitching guys 3 times in 4 days, which I agree with, especially being that, this series was already won. And this Dodgers series is important. And again, yes, it is 3 out of 162. But, after the World Series last year and what they did to us in our building, we definitely want to return the favor. So great that Clark got us through 6, 7th inning. And it was interesting, too. They were talking about this on the broadcast, Jeff Nelson and Michael Kay, how the Angels, I think, have the worst bullpen ERA in the majors, but yet these guys are coming in throwing 100 miles an hour. They did a good job against us. Ben Rice came in as a pinch hitter, hit a hard liner, but of course, right to second base. And then Grisham did single, but Judge and Goldschmidt struck out to end that inning. Ian Hamilton, who's had an up and down season for the Yankees, actually got 5 big outs for us. 7th inning, he gets 2 strikeouts. Soler and Logan O'Hoppe to lead out the inning. And again, the off speed, he gets Soler on the slider. 8 pitch at bat, but down in the zone. I mean, I can't, stress enough how important that is, these off-speed pitches, because hitters will chase, especially with 2 strikes. And then he also gets O'Hoppe on the slider, same thing down, this one away. So some huge outs here for Hamilton, and he also gets d'Arnaud to follow out. 8th inning, Anthony Volpe with a double. So 2 big at-bats here for Volpe this game. So like we talked about, we were talking about it again in the group chat last night, during the game, all the slack we've given him, he might be better than we think. I think you have such high expectations, a first-round draft pick, shooting up through the system like he did, winning that job. You just expected better by now. But if he continues to improve this season on this trajectory, he may be exactly what we're looking for.
At least he's good defensively, unlike Soto.
Exactly, and he's had some big hits, which is just important. So you love
big
to
hits
see
too,
that.
unlike Soto.
Yeah, exactly. So bottom 8th, Hamilton's still in, gives up a leadoff single to Chris Taylor. And actually that was a tough one. Paul Goldschmidt, obviously very good defensively, but it was a ball where he catches it over the shoulder, basket catcher a second, but then he drops it. And then the Angels sacrifice Rengifo and moves up Taylor to second. But Ian Hamilton gets Nito to fly out to center on that slider. So very effective with that slider yesterday. And then Tim Hill, one of Michael's favorites, I know, comes in 1 pitch. Obviously you got runner on second there, 2 outs, so a hit could tie the game. But he gets Schnall, one of the best Angel hitters, to jump on the first pitch, ground ball to second. DJ does the job. So, it was great to see him come in, and it's just so great at inducing those ground balls. So top 9, Yankees unable to get anything done against Burke, the former Texas Ranger. Goldschmidt did single. So I think 2 hits for Goldschmidt yesterday, continuing to thrash left-handed pitching, but unable to do anything there. And then we get Mark Leiter Jr. And talk about a guy who's really changed the narrative. Came over, was so horrendous post-trade deadline last year that he wasn't on the postseason roster until Ian Hamilton got injured, but then had some big outs against Cleveland and pitched well, against the Dodgers, and has had a great start to this season. And really the only blemish was that grand slam against Arizona. But he gets 3 big outs here. In the first one, that's why it's so important, to be positioned right. Yorbit Vivas had come in for defense after Rice had pinch hit for Peraza. An absolute screamer off the bat, but he had it played perfectly. Definitely would have been a double down the line. So that was the first out. And then he gets Taylor Ward to strike out looking on a splitter down and in. So actually 3 pitches. Ward doesn't even take the bat off his shoulders. You always get perplexed when you see things like that. Obviously worked out for us. He has a full count with Jorge Soler, but can't get him to chase that curveball. So he walks. They put Lugo in to pitch run. And then you got Logan O'Hoppe up. And it was kind of interesting. And kudos to JC Escara. And Jeff Nelson was talking about this, right after the game ended. But just really good framing job. There were at least 2 balls, maybe 3 that were outside the zone, including the last pitch of this game, a curveball down, a little out. But O'Hoppe got to protect there, doesn't, looks at the curve, strike 3. So Leiter gets his second save of the season. And like I mentioned, the Yankees now 35-20, and 17-11 away from Yankee Stadium. And so far have went 5-1 through the first 6 game of a 9-game road trip. And, listen, I mean, obviously last couple of games, sure, you would have liked to see some more offense, but I do think it just speaks volumes to what a strong bullpen we have. And just the fact, because these tight games last year, I mean, just think about how many times Clay Holmes was blown. I mean, I think he had at least 10 blown saves last year. But we weren't winning these games. We weren't winning that game last week against Texas. So that's why it just feels like such a different feeling. And then the fact, too, that you're going to get Fernando Cruz back in this bullpen. And then eventually at some point, Jake Cousins. And then you think about Heel in the rotation, and Stanton and Jazz actually around the corner. And they're talking about putting Jazz at third base. And I had suggested this yesterday. But given that LeMahieu, you wouldn't want to put him at third base for defense. So Jazz is pumped, rehabbing with Corey at Somerset right now. And I think, as soon as, next week's homestand, we could see Jazz Chisholm back in Yankee pinstripes. So he was obviously struggling, before he had gotten hurt. But I think, the fact that, we're playing Peraza all this time and we're playing Vivas, even obviously LeMahieu as well. I think getting Jazz back will be huge because I know he's a great defender. Obviously has all the potential in the world with the bat, but it's just all about, plate discipline. And I think he's definitely, I mean, there's no way that it could be any worse than what it was before he got injured. And I'm hoping too, and I know, like I said, the plate discipline wasn't good, but I'm hoping that the time off, he has a lot of time to kind of see some of the mistakes he was making, out on the field, that he'll kind of make some adjustments here. I know he's very close with the Yankees hitting coaches, but I think he's going to come back and, maybe not produce at the level we saw when he came over from the Marlins, because that might not be sustainable. But what he did last season, but just, I think, a solid player, and get that average, hit at least 250. The home runs are great, but also singles are great too, because he's so quick. He's a threat to hit a triple at any time. So, there's just, I think there's a lot to like about, Jazz coming back, and then we could finally DFA, Pablo Reyes, who, I don't understand how he's still on the roster, but that's a conversation for another day. But yeah, I mean, 35-20. And I just keep going back to this, but what really just I love about this Yankee team is, I mean, the talk, going into this season was just so negative. And that was before we knew that Stanton was going to miss all this time, that before Cole was going to be out for this season, before Heel was going to miss a couple months. It was just that, you lose pretty good in the World Series of the Dodgers, and then you don't have Soto, you have no chance, and the offense isn't going to hit, can't rely on this and that. your free agency signings, Bellinger, Goldschmidt, and Bellinger, Goldschmidt, Fried, could have not worked out, any better. And I just think, 7-game lead. I think they said this is their biggest lead up to this point in the season since they won the World Series in 2009. So obviously that's a good parallel, good comparison. So you have to be happy with the body of work. And obviously I think the one thing is, against the Dodgers in this upcoming series, you're going to have to score more, which I think they will. But that would be the one critique. But the pitching staff really just, carrying the load right now. You love to see it. And the nice part about it is, you have 3 starters. I mean, obviously all the starters are pitching well, but first of all, possibly the best starter in the majors this season, Max Fried, is going to get the start tomorrow night. That's going to be a 10-10 game on Apple TV, but he's, opposed by Tony Gonsolin. So, you love your advantage in that pitching matchup. Will Warren against Knack. I mean, Will Warren has been pitching tremendous, so this is a huge start for him. And if he's able to, get through, this Dodger lineup a couple times, limit the damage. I mean, I think that'll be absolutely tremendous for his confidence. He struck out at least 7 batters his last 5 starts. It would have went longer, in that game against Colorado, if it wasn't for the rain delay. So he's been pitching well. So I like our kind of advantage there. And then, sure, Sunday Night Baseball, of course, Yamamoto has been pitching very well this season. But Ryan Yarbrough is on fire as well. And obviously there's a little vendetta there. He was with, the Dodgers last season. Obviously they don't bring him back. So I'm sure he'll be highly motivated for Sunday Night Baseball. So that's going to be a great series. And like I said, I just think it means, a little more, just being, all the talk. And obviously, I mean, at the end of the day, the biggest thing is just losing to the Dodgers last year. This is your first crack at them. You hope to get another crack, in October. But, you just want to really kind of impose your will there, and return the favor of what they did last season at Yankee Stadium in the regular season and then in the World Series. So I'm really excited for that. I think the off day comes at a perfect time to, get the bullpen all lined up. And the nice part about it too, Max Fried is giving you length. So first game, you might not need to tap into that bullpen too much. I mean, you feel like he's probably going to go around 7 innings. So maybe only 2 innings there. And then sure, Warren and Yarbrough, you're going to need some more, innings out of your bullpen. But I think it lines up pretty well. So you got 3 against the Dodgers, and then you come home, another off day on Monday, and you got a 6-game homestand, 3 against the Guardians and 3 against the Red Sox. So I think it's great, and it's just an exciting time right now. And also I see on here a couple more comments, Michael.
Yeah, Jimmy.
I think it's Jimmy Butka.
Oh, okay.
I think,
okay.
right? He just kind of messed around with his name.
I mean, I would hope so. That's him. That's crazy. If there's a Jimmy
I saw
Bukta
it quickly
and a
on
Jimmy
Facebook.
Buktalon.
What did he say?
Just a heart emoji.
Oh, okay. Let's go Yankees, Jimmy.
Yes. Donna Lee in the house saying, good morning, all.
Donna Lee.
Legend.
Absolute legend. Appreciate her always.
And then Fish Boy saying, thank goodness, a day off for my Tigers. Last day off was May 15th.
Yeah. I mean, that's, that's a lot of days in the row. And actually, the Yankees haven't had one. I mean, I know it's a little sooner, but it's the 19th. They are, that was their last off day. So they've played a lot of games in the row. And the crazy part is, you go from the 20th to 28th, you play every day and you only lose 1 game. So I think that's all you could ask for. Sweeping 2 out of the last 3 series, winning 7 straight series. This is how you win divisions, win pennants, really, stacking up the wins is just so important. So obviously big litmus test against the Dodgers this weekend, but definitely can't wait for it. Like we said, they're not going to be playing today. Very light slate in Major League Baseball. I believe it's only 5 games, if I'm not mistaken. But we'll work with what we have. So let's see. So it's the Braves Phillies have a double header. 5 games, but they play 2 of them. And then you got A's, Blue Jays, Rays, Astros, Nationals, and Mariners. So we will do an MLB 5-pack pick segment here, brought to you by the Hirsch Law Firm. And like we said, 2 games between the Braves and the Phillies. Game number 1 features a pitching matchup of A.J. Smith-Shawver and Christopher Sanchez. And really, I think 2 underrated pitchers, especially Smith-Shawver. You don't hear his name too much, but he's pitching to the tune of a 3.67 earned run average this season. And you look at recent results here. Phillies did win 2-0 yesterday. 2 days ago. Obviously, the rain out yesterday. And then overall, Phillies have won 4 out of 5 games. The Braves have lost 4 out of 5 games. So doubleheaders are tough, especially against a division rival here. But I would say in this game, just trending by what we've seen, it's so interesting. I mean, the Phillies were definitely struggling a little bit to start this season. I think around 500 a couple weeks ago, and now all of a sudden you look up and there's 16 games over 500, which is obviously tremendous. 18-8 at Citizens Bank as well. So I'm going to say for this game 1, I do like the Phillies. I think an under game, the total is at 8.5. But I'm going to say for the first game here, Phillies win 5-3. So give me the Phillies and just on the under. The second game between these 2 teams, so they're doing a day-night doubleheader, which I never understand why teams do that, especially, for the players. Obviously for the admission, I guess you get 2 gates. But the fact that it's such a long day at the ballpark for the players, the staff, the broadcasters. But regardless, 6:45 game 2 here. Chris Sale versus Zach Wheeler. So the matchup of Cy Young Award winners. I think this is going to be a special one. Interesting that the total here opened at 9.5, but it's actually now down to 7.5. I was going to say to be higher than the first game. It just doesn't make sense. So it's hard to count on the Braves this year. I just don't like the way they look. So even though this is a pretty close pitching matchup, I think this is going to result in the Braves getting swept. I think Zach Wheeler, there's a reason why he's won the Cy Young. His ERA is 2.42. I think he's going to throw 7 scoreless innings here, maybe striking out 10. So I think another under game. But this Braves offense has shown that they just have a tough time, producing. I think at the end of the day, this is going to be a 4-1 Phillies victory. So sweeping the doubleheader. Also, John Pollock agreeing, saying Phillies sweep the day.
And Derek Ho saying hi there.
Yeah, so the robot that is Derek Ho. And then
he has a photo, it looks like. Of
I don't know. Just one of those situations I'll never figure out. Feels like there's a relation to prefer, but who really knows?
I haven't seen him in a while.
No. But he was in. He made his name something different, but he was attacking me about the Mets and Soto and all this shit. So
he likes to do that.
Yeah. But anyway, I think there's a little karma involved there. So next game here, A's in Toronto against the Blue Jays. You got Jacob Lopez matched up against Jose Barrios. And you look at this pitching matchup, Lopez limited action, 2.57 ERA over 14 innings. Barrios has been okay, 4.22 ERA, a little less than a strikeout per inning. And you look at the recent play here, the A's have been struggling, losing 4 out of 5. The Blue Jays have won 2 out of 5, but 2 of their last 3 games, but have got shut out twice in that period as well. So kind of a tough game to kind of cap here. But I guess I don't mean to go against John Pollock, who says the A's are going to beat the Blue Jays, but and really, I mean, not that I think it's going to be close anyway, but you want as many American League East teams to lose as possible. I do think the Blue Jays will win. I think Barrios at home can give you like 6 innings, 2 earned, total set 8.5. I think the day of unders, Michael, we'll go with the under here. I'm going to say give Vladdy a home run. I'm sure Ernie has it on a ticket somewhere. But I'm going to say the Blue Jays win this game 5-1. So give me the Blue Jays in the under. 2 games left here. We go to Houston. Who likes the Astros? Nobody. But 30-25 have started to play some good ball here. Winners of 4 in a row. The Rays have been heating up too. They've won 4 out of their last 5 games. And this pitching matchup
is such a bad division, though.
It is.
No, I was just being Tony.
Well, but you know what it is? It's like, I think it's more, maybe that it's not that it's such a bbad division, but the Yankees are just so much better than the other teams.
Right.
Really,
I mean, and also, like, you got to get the job done.
Exactly.
So, good,
no matter
bad,
who you're playing.
Exactly.
But you got Shane Baz going up against Ryan Gusto, and I don't know if this is filling in for Ronald Blanco, who they announced, he had the no-hitter last year, but undergoing Tommy John surgery, so a big blow for the Astros there. So this is kind of an interesting game, but I'm going to agree with John Pollock. Actually, no. Okay, no. I guess I'm not agreeing with John Pollock. So while the Rays, I have the better pitcher here, I don't know. I have a feeling on the road, Houston, I could see them losing this game. I think it's close, but I'm going to say the Astros win 4-3. So again, the under. Astros in the under there. And then last game of the night, the Pacific Northwest, the Seattle Mariners matched up here against the Washington Nationals. Mackenzie Gore, the Nationals' really best pitcher here, 2-5, 347, matched up against Emerson Hancock, who faced the Yankees against earlier this year. His ERA 5.95, 2-2. And that's over the course of 39 and a third innings. You look at recent play here. The Mariners have won 2 out of their last 5, and so have the Nationals. And the team split these first 2 games, kind of lopsided results in both. You have the Mariners winning 9-1 on Tuesday, and then yesterday the Nationals bouncing back and winning 9-0. So looking at this, I think it's close. You never know with Seattle and that offense. But I'm gonna say the Nationals just because of Gore. I think Hancock is kind of beat. Honestly, James Wood hit another home run last night, so maybe the Nationals start playing some better baseball here. Give me 6 innings of 1 earned run ball for Mackenzie Gore, striking out 10. He's 93 strikeouts, 62 in the third innings. Pitching pretty well. One of the guys that came over in the Juan Soto deal with the Padres, I believe it was McGore and James Wood, who are playing dividends. But again, we'll go with the 5th under of the day, 5 for 5 on unders. I always pick overs and lose, so maybe I'll be right here. But give me the Nationals. I'm going to say they win 4-2. So Nationals under, just like that. There's your MLB 5-pack pick segment here. Before we get to the grid, a couple more comments here.
Yes, David, who, shout out David, was on the gaming corner last night.
And I think I've seen him in the Sportsport before as well.
Horseshoe.
Oh, okay.
Horseshoe.
Yep.
Became a friend via the good old Horseshoe. It's where you meet lifelong friends.
Great.
Rockies are 9-46. Charlie Woods wins his first junior golf tournament, and the Knicks are going to decide to show up tonight, I hope. Fishboy, Rays all day, F Houston. David continues. Josh Hart over 8.5 rebounds. Pascal Siakam under 9.5 rebounds and assists. Separate bets. Take it to the bank, he says.
And then
what do you think about that?
Well, I would say I don't know about Siakam, but I like Josh Hart.
Okay.
Let's put it that way.
Fishboy, Washington win in an 11-inning shutout. And shootout. And then first 5 Washington, David says.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good one. Like I said, I don't think Hancock is going to pitch that well. So I think some good plays there. Love the conversation. And like I say all the time, just nothing like the game of baseball. Obviously going to miss having, the Yankees in action today. But I think, like I said, I think it's a well-timed off day, before this Dodger series. So let's go. But let's
Immaculate.
Let's get up and Immaculate. And it's weird. This for some reason. Oh, maybe I'm not pressing it right. It's not letting me type on here. Is there something that like locks the keys?
Well, I should let you type.
See, like if you go,
Sometimes
I'm guessing that it's like just. Isn't that weird? I could do without it, but I'm just trying to think though. But I definitely typed before. I think anyway. Oh, okay, we're good. We're good. Gotcha. But yeah, we'll get the grid up, hoping that Yerny is still with us here. The self-proclaimed Schwami. Let's see what we got here. I'm gonna just get the feed on my end. I have the grid on the iPad. But all right, so taking a look at this, a lot of different
a lot
places to go here. So I'm gonna say for the 300 batting average season for St. Louis, go with Goldschmidt. Paul Goldschmidt on that one.
6%.
There we go. All right. So we got Cleveland, and we got Kansas City. Gonna have to think about those. The batting averages, are always tough. Just thinking about this. So Houston and Kansas City could do Carlos Beltran. That might be a popular one. I don't know if Suppan pitched for the Padres. And then who is the one? There's somebody from San Diego. Josh Bell. Yeah, do Josh Bell for middle left.
Middle left with like right here.
Oh yeah, hold on. It's no, so middle, so down one. Yeah, right
sorry.
there.
There's 2 Josh Bells.
What are the years?
2016, 25, 2010, 2012.
The 1 to 25.
Oh,
It didn't work?
red.
Josh Bell didn't play for the Guardians? I feel like I'm sounding like Tony now. I actually just want to look this
But
up.
I don't
Who the
know.
hell-
I think. Yeah, I guess it didn't go through though.
Oh, wait, did it?
Doesn't look like it.
No, but how many? No, but did Red come up when he
6
did?
guesses left.
He did play for Cleveland, and there should be 7 guesses left because we have 2 guys in, right? So I think the wrong one got clicked by accident.
Oh, I did. I thought you meant the middle.
It was middle row Cleveland, San Diego.
Yeah. Oh no, I did Houston.
That's
my bad.
No, but you could go incognito and bring it back.
How do you do that?
So if you go new window, it should say new incognito window.
File new. Maybe.
Like in the browser, like if you go to like
Oh
select
yeah.
in a new incognito window,
Yeah.
and then go to it.
Because that doesn't count.
No, because we had it.
Baseball. This one is a little different though. It looks like.
Oh
no, we're back.
We're
back.
good.
Let me do this though.
So Goldschmidt top right.
But I want to get it to share screen with the viewers. Hold on. Stop screen. Nice, dude. We're back.
You could say, and we.
Oh, dude, yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
so let's just catch up real quick.
So top right is Paul Goldschmidt.
Top right, Paul Goldschmidt. Okay, and then that was Josh Bell.
And then Josh Bell is middle left.
Yep, got it. All right, we're back.
Okay, and then so for bottom left, do Miguel Tejada.
Kansas City, San Diego.
Yeah.
Miguel?
Yeah.
That's my guy.
I honestly was always riled for him back in the day.
0.8.
Love it, Michael. Love it. All right. So, and I just want to see too. No, Ernie must be selling cars. All right. So,
how dare he do his job during this?
Yeah. So Houston and Cleveland, and then San Diego and St. Louis. Just trying to think about Diego and St. Louis. Kansas City. Oh, Kansas City. Okay, so for bottom left, do Michael Waka. And that's
Bottom
left. And it's
here in the like
oh sorry, my
Kansas
thing
City,
is-
Houston.
It's Kansas City. No, Kansas City, San Diego, bottom left.
We did Miguel Tejada.
Oh, I don't have the right. Actually, that is annoying. Actually, no, but we could do this. Top left, do Michael Waka. WACHA.
2%.
There we go. Michael Waka. Very key, Michael. All right. So, geez, Houston and St. I gotta actually have your feet up here. All right. So I'm just trying to think. So, Houston, Cleveland, Houston, Kansas City. All right. So thinking about relievers here. And Cleveland. Heck was on Cleveland. Starting pitchers. So was it Jose Lima? Who was the? I'm trying to think about closer for Cleveland during the. Was it 1997? I guess maybe it wasn't Lima. All right, hold on a second here. I guess for for Houston and St. Louis, so top middle, do Carlos Beltran.
Top middle, Carlos Beltran.
Yeah.
14.
Okay. All right, but
We're still here.
St. Louis and San Diego. Oh, but we already did that one. Yeah, because John Pocket said Gene Tenace for St. Louis and San Diego. Okay. Boy, I'm surprised Beltran was that high there. So the 300 average for Cleveland. So I'm trying to think. I feel like Manny did it. Jose Ramirez. Do you think Jose Ramirez hit 300? Yeah, and it just like I feel like I'm gonna do Manny, and it's or do you think maybe like since it's like kind of a while ago, maybe not as many people as you would think. Yeah, it's just, I hate that I just like
He just doesn't want to pick Lindor.
No. I'm saying I just hate that I'm not like positive on it. You know, which one would you say like you're most sure about for the 300 average there? Like I know Manny did it. That's the thing. Yeah. All right. It's probably going to be high, Michael, but do middle right, Manny Ramirez. Steroids and all.
For Cleveland?
Yeah. Oh, Albert Bell probably did it too, right? Yeah, do Albert Bell. So middle right.
%.
There we go. I knew that was one that people weren't thinking about, and like all the writers and everybody always hated Albert Bell. So I feel like you don't think about him. All right, so we're moving along. We got three left to fill out here. Miles Straw played for Houston, right? Yeah, just do it, Michael. Middle, Miles, so Myles, and then Straw.
8%.
Okay. All right, so we got two remaining here. So it's gonna be Houston, Kansas City, and the 300 batting average for Kansas City. So we know that George Brett did it. I would say, I'm trying to think, Eric. Yeah, do, okay, so for bottom right, Michael, do Eric Hosmer. Hosmer.
Yep. 2%.
2%. Okay, so the last one here, Houston and Kansas City. So I'm just trying to think. Houston and Kansas City. I feel like that could have been Tejada too. Guys that have moved around, pitchers, relievers. I don't think Soler was on Houston. I don't think Tyler Clippard was on Kansas City. Damn, I really want to get a good one on this. This might have to be an Ernie.
We can make a call.
You think we should do it?
I'll do it. Yeah.
All right.
Keep thinking.
City, not Abreu, not McCann, not Kane. Ernie.
We need the big guns,
In a
baby.
pinch, Ernie. One.
Mariano.
Yeah,
We're
we need
calling in Mariano right now.
What's going on, guys?
We're one away, and we have Houston and Kansas City.
Houston, Kansas City, like players, or you needed like anything
Players. And Michael Buckus says, Ernie.
Damn, I want to say Octavio Dotel, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think Dotel was on Kansas City.
I think Dotel plays for Kansas City. Yeah.
But I'm not. But I know what you mean, though. I'm not like 100% positive.
Yeah, like I'm not 100% positive on him, so like I don't. I mean, obviously you could say Beltran.
Yeah,
or, like,
we
can
said
go
him for St.
Tejada.
Louis, and we used Beltran and Tejada already.
Oh man, you guys are kidding. Yeah, just go Dotel, bro. I'm almost positive he played for both teams.
All right, let's keep him on the line just when you put this
Stand
in.
on the
just
line,
to
baby.
see. Well, Ernie.
Bottom of the ninth. Two outs.
The pitch.
What's his name again?
So it's OCTAVIO.
Okay, here we go. The windup. The pitch. We got him out!
Yes. What was it? What percent?
4%.
There we go, Ernie. What's the grid score, Michael?
46.
46. There we go, Ernie.
That's a solid score. That's a solid score. Good
Appreciate
job,
you,
guys.
bro. Let's go, Yankees.
Yankees
All right, Ernie, have a good day.
Let's go Yankees, baby.
Oh, man. Good stuff.
What a legend.
Yeah.
At work saying, hold on, ma'am. Hold on, sir. I've got your deal for your car. Just got to take this call. It's another buddy. I need to give him a sale.
That was honestly awesome. And I can't wait for the Ernie Smack talk at the Mets game. That's gonna be like no other. Tony acting like he's not tight with his whole, oh yeah, like if you want to just like say that, like that's fine. Like, you can just say that.
Oh, it's going to be good.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be great. 2 weeks from today, let's fucking go.
Oh, it's going to be, I'm so glad I committed.
Yeah, no,
So
I
rad.
told you, dude. It's always a good time with the fellas, that's for sure. And then you throw Rick and Dave in the mix as well. But all right, so yeah, like we said, off day for the Yankees, pumped for tomorrow, great grid. But let's go now to the world of the National Basketball Association.
The Bulls go! LeBron James at the buzzer! He banks in the three! And the Lakers win the game!
All right. And by the way, Ben Griffin now has a 2-shot lead over at Muirfield Village. An Eagle on number 7. So an impressive 31 going out this morning for Ben Griffin. He's currently playing number 10. Shane Lowry, 2 back at 3 under. Ricky Fowler hanging in there, 2 under through 15. Xander picked up another birdie here. He's 2 under through 6. Andrew Novak also 2 under as well. And you still have Hovland and Morikawa at 1 under. Sahith Theegala also at 1 under right now as well. And Obear and Matsuyama holding steady at even par. Jordan Spieth +1. Justin Rose has picked up a couple bogeys. He's +2 through 14. Cam Young, my sleeper pick, +3 through 10. So not the best start. But what can you do?
Before we begin,
Yes.
we have a call.
All right.
You're live on the Sportsport.
Yo,
Michael Butka, what's up, man?
what's up? I am so jacked up for tomorrow.
How jacked up?
I'm so excited.
I hope you're going to be ready to talk Yankees Dodgers, Michael.
Oh yeah, I'll be ready.
Honestly, how much of the 3-game set in Anaheim did you see?
All of it.
Really?
Barnes, I promise.
You went the distance with me last night.
Well, I was catching you with a pick of honeymoon in my hands.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
but I'm
so
just
yes.
saying the reason I say that is because, like, you know, I went to bed early the first 2 games, but last night it was close, and I don't know, I just had a little extra wind. Maybe
Yeah, it
paying
was.
for it now. But it was great to see them, you know, gut out a 1-0 win.
Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing like that.
Yeah, but only scoring one run is kind of.
Oh, I knew it. I was gonna
Boy,
say
I can't lie.
I know you're tough to please for sports teams, but Michael, the reality of the situation is 35 up, 20 down, 7 series in a row, 16 out of 20. I mean, every number you look at, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. But
yeah, that's some good. Also, Barnes. How do you feel about going to a city field on the 12th? How do you feel? Tell me.
Oh, how do I feel? Like I said, great to see the fellas. Great to see
but now
Rick and Dave.
The Mets, right?
The Mets. I mean, it's Michael. I mean, it's
not really.
It's the Mets. You know. Obviously, I wish the game was at Yankee Stadium. But I think the camaraderie with Ernie chirping, the Kev Dune, Cole Dick, situation. I think it's gonna be great. JD will be there as well, which is awesome. I think Donna too.
Nice.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it'll be awesome to meet her finally.
Yep.
Nice, man.
So it's gonna be a great day.
Sounds awesome.
Before we let you go, Michael, Knicks or Pacers tonight?
I want to see Knicks, but I'm worried. That game wasn't going to happen again.
Yeah. No, I know.
Like a repeat of game 1, Barnes.
It could be. So basically you're going Pacers.
I mean, I want the Knicks, but I don't think the Knicks can do it tonight.
Okay.
I just don't.
All right. So that's the official Michael Bucket pick.
Also, Michael, if you're still there.
I'm here, buddy.
I was, Barnes, please know that I was really standing up for Michael and other guys last night.
Got it.
Yeah, you were. I was really proud of you.
I was not.
You're not gonna have it.
I was not
what a
that
jerk.
Yeah.
Wasn't he such a jerk, Michael?
He must have liked the Mets, honestly.
He was firing all sorts of shit at
Mets
you guys.
or Red Sox fan, definitely.
He was just jealous that everyone here was so
I
handsome.
think you're a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, definitely, Michael. But yeah, so we're looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, bud. Hope you have a good day.
Make sure you bring your talking voice.
And
yes, and Barnes. And tomorrow I might gotta torment the Mets a little more tomorrow.
Definitely. That loss to Chicago wasn't great yesterday.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I know. I'm sure Tony will mention that tomorrow. But yeah, so we'll see you tomorrow, Michael. Have a good day. And thanks for the call. All right.
Have a couple.
You too, Barnes.
All right.
Huh? All right. Wait,
the great Michael Butka. So obviously Knicks Pacers tonight. You said yesterday, Michael, that you think the Knicks are going to win. Any deviation off that?
No, let's go. Knicks in the Garden, riled.
Tickets down.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy.
You think close or no?
I want to say no, but I wouldn't be surprised. But I just have a feeling they're going to come out and have a game that is going to have everybody relax for a sec.
Yeah.
I could still see this going 7.
That would be awesome, honestly. Obviously it starts with tonight. And sure, I expected them to win last game. They didn't. But I do agree with you. I think they do bounce back tonight. I think it's close. But I think, they end up winning maybe 115 to 110. So that would be just on the over, and then the Knicks just covering. But I think it would be great. Give the Knicks an opportunity with a win tonight. Gives an opportunity to win in Indiana, to have a Game 7 at Madison Square Garden with a chance to go to the NBA Finals. Obviously, that's all you can hope for. Obviously, it's a tall task, but you have to take one game at a time. I think that's what they'll do. So that's going to be 8:00 on TNT, and a loss would be the last TNT broadcasted game, which is kind of crazy.
Is it really?
Yeah.
They're done after this?
They're done. The simulcast Inside the NBA on ESPN next year. Amazon,
same
NBC
crew
taking over rights. Same crew, but it's going to be out before the ESPN basketball game.
That's pretty lame.
And but I was just going to say too, Thunder with the blowout win, expected that. Timberwolves just didn't.
You did expect that.
You think they just gave up? Like, didn't even try?
I just don't think they're good enough.
Yeah.
And I think, Ant-Man is just, it's too early to give him any crown. Everybody wanted to dub him Jordan already.
The next.
Yeah. It's like, let's pump the brakes. And OKC just has a way better team.
Yeah.
Like, way better.
Do you think whether it's the Knicks or the Pacers, do can they give him a fight, you think, or no?
Yeah, I do.
So hopefully, we get, a competitive series. Obviously, the NBA is hoping for the Knicks comeback here. Ratings-wise, Indiana Thunder would probably be a disaster in terms of ad revenue.
Crazy.
But we'll have to see. We'll see if the Knicks can, hold off elimination, at least for tonight. And as Tony would say, living to die another day. Xander Schauffele, another birdie here. So he's 3 under, tied for second, 2-shot back. And Aske also 2 under here as well. And Andrew Novak also picking up a birdie. So the birdie's flowing. Ricky Fowler must have had a double. I'm going to just double check this. A double on the par 3, number 16. So after a promising start, he's back to middle of the pack at even par. And then really, other than that, the NHL, we saw the Hurricanes blow an early lead, so they lose in 5 to the Panthers. So the Panthers going back to their 3rd consecutive Stanley Cup final. What a job Paul Maurice has done there in Florida. So they await the winner, of Edmonton and the Stars. And this series, to me, even though, I did think Edmonton would win, I thought it might take 7. It looks like it might take 5, as Edmonton is 1 win away themselves, from going to their 2nd consecutive Stanley Cup final.
Crazy.
And I just feel like the way that they've defended this game, dropping game 1 and then winning the next 3, they've outscored Dallas 13 to 2 in those 3 wins. So that's unbelievable defense, playing team hockey. You saw the behind the scenes from McDavid last year. He really wants a crack at this, and that's really as to what's been the start of a Hall of Fame career. That's really
as much as some people don't want to believe it.
Right, exactly. And that he's going to come and save the Rangers, right? They don't need to be saved. Let's have Panarin there until he's 50 and score 2 goals in the playoffs. But yeah, I think they get the job done tonight. I'm going to say it's like a 4-1 victory, and it's just a disappointing end to what seemed to be the run of a special season for Dallas. But that's my prediction. We'll see what happens. But important game 5s in the NBA and the NHL. Like we said, light day, Major League Baseball, the Memorial Tournament. We'll talk about round 1 tomorrow. It seems like, that's really, where we're at. So kind of just, flew by today, but great job as always. And really appreciate everybody who tuned in today and continues to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page, Tony, Michael, Renee, and Jade in costume, merch at DowntimeTV.com. Want everybody to enjoy the day, enjoy the games. Let's go Knicks, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.